Set for race 2 here at Simmons Plains. Ben Cavich, Workhorse Falcon, starts from pole. Jesse Dixon alongside. Baxter and Donis, McNally and Jane. There's some experience there behind the young 19-year-old who starts in Carnival 1. Down to this, well, it's a first corner, but it's quickly followed by a second corner, but the young gun's clear.
Great start by Dixon. Let's see if the rest of the pack can get through cleanly. On board with Fisher now. Closely followed by Cedars. These guys are actually teammates, so they won't want to do anything silly.
SS Inductions in car. Craig Donis, that's Gary Baxter. Has great experience here. He was the runner-up in 07 at Simmons Plains. Donis, those on the outside for the hairpin. He'll have to slot into fourth. Always get worried about this hairpin. Waiting for drama. Oh, Jason Gomersall hasn't made it, given up, broken it.
Looks like there's a problem with that, Aaron. Quite unusual just to pull up like that. On board now with Greg Quick in the Auto One guest car. This long run up the back straight. Important to get a good run out of the hairpin, but Jesse Dixon, he's doing a great job so far out front.
And Dontas is through on Baxter. He's got through to third spot. We're right on board the Thirsty Camel Commodore, and as James mentioned, his regular car was written off in a testing crash at Calder in Melbourne just before the opening round. Haley Swanson's off the road, and that looks like it's at the turn 5 sweeper, which is a little bit strange and generally is quite high speed, so anytime you go off there, you know about it. This will explain what was going on. Bay Point Developments Commodore, Haley on debut from Aussie Racing Cars. Steering wheel just dropped off.
No way.
Oh, no.
Well,
oh, that's scary. I shouldn't laugh. That is actually quite frightening.
Given that that's actually happened, she's done very well just to keep it off the tyre wall. So, frightening incident there, no doubt for her. And yeah, I'm sure she'll make sure that that never happens again.
Oh, heart rate's got to be up after that one. She rejoins at the tail of the field, but at the front, it's Jesse Dixon who leads the way. Safety car being called. Ah, that's why Warren Millett, Wake Up Commodore, is in the gravel down at turn 4, and that will slow things down in race 2 of the weekend. Oh, Fonzie Mullins had a bit of drama. I wonder if that's got anything to do with it.
Yeah, well, it did look like there was a bit of damage on the front of the Wake Up Commodore as well. So here we go into the hairpin.
Auto One replay.
Oh,
it just stopped. Everyone backed up.
And you can see that incident was started because the yellow flags were still out for Gomersall's car, and everybody backed up.
So safety car slows the race down. Jesse Dixon is the leader. More action from Tasmania. Just a sec. Back in Tasmania, getting set for a restart. It's race 2, round 2 in the Auto One V8 Ute Series, protected by Armour All. We've been under safety car for a little while. We won't be now. Jesse Dixon is on the loud pedal in car number 1. And for a young rookie, he's done a very good job at the restart.
He's done a perfect job. That's an ideal restart. You're exactly right. So now, restart, safety cars always generally create safety cars, and the run into the hairpin is going to be crucial. We've got Reece McNally having a run on. Oh, no!
Oh, contact with Kim Jane in the fence, and nearly came firing back across the road. I remember seeing Jamie Whincup and Greg Murphy involved in a similar incident, and it wiped out half the field.
Exactly right. So we're actually quite lucky that Kimbo looks like he's been able to keep going. Naturally, he'll have a lot of damage.
It's banked them all up. Have a look at them 2 by 2.
Certainly has a bit of damage to the back of Ryan Hansford's car there as well. The rear bumper's dragging along, so hopefully he won't get pulled into the pits for that. Now,
they changed the clutch on this car, the Rod Dawson team, to get ready for this one. It was a bit of hurry-flurry to get them into the race. Of course, Ryan's last year's Rookie of the Year award winner. He's back for another run. He's in one of the new FG models. This is Travis Sharp in the red Commodore down the inside, and young local Josh Burton, the 19-year-old, following him through. Hansford dives through. So Ben Dunn, no one loves him. Let's have a look at this again on the Auto One replay. McNally and Jane, that almost looked like Kim didn't quite know that Reece's nose was there.
Yeah, exactly right. So there was a little bit of overlap there, but probably, you're right, Kim wouldn't have been expecting Reece to be there, and then that's just forced them both into the guardrail. Luckily, our camera's still intact.
I was going to say, when it went black, I was already starting to fill out the invoice, but it came back, so I had to screw it up.
Cameron McConville was very lucky to avoid that incident there as well.
This is what it looked like with Kim Jane. Everything seemed okay for a second. Yeah, really lucky for McConville, because if Jane had come arrowing to the right, it was going to end up in the door of the Bundy Commodore.
Exactly right. Now our championship leader having a go under brakes. on Craig Dondas and his new Thirsty Camel Commodore. Slides up the inside into the second last corner, very nicely done. So Walton's on a bit of a charge here. He's up to third.
And he's on debut here in V8 Utes, James, but I had a little chat to him over the weekend, and he did admit, well, I've actually been here before, but it was in a saloon car, and it was that long ago, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, well, anytime you can get to a track that you're racing, Simmons Plains, like I said, is very technical, even though it looks quite simple on paper. So his saloon car races in the past will be helping him out this weekend, no doubt. But he's doing a fantastic job. Now Dontas is coming under pressure from Cameron McConville. Oh, as we say, Walter's doing a great job. Big lock up into the hairpin.
He made it around the corner, though.
Very lucky to get away with that, but I would suspect he'd probably have a flat spot on that left front tyre, so he's going to have to nurse that for the rest of the race.
We just saw a yellow flag on display through the sweeper. Jake McNally is in pit lane, hearing he's had a puncture, so hence why he's in there.
So the McNally boys have been in the thick of the action in this race, haven't they?
And we get to go to their home soil for the next round. Round 3 will be at Barbagallo in Perth. On board with our leader, the Ice Break Coffee Commodore, Jesse Dixon, doing a hell of a job here. Hanging on out in front, started from the front row alongside Ben Cabbage, but he's been dropping some pace on the lap times, and he's got a drama here. This just doesn't look right.
No, exactly. It's a very unusual spot to get a pass done here at Simmons Plains into turn 1 and turn 2. Very tricky part of the track. And yeah, it actually sounds like the clutch might be slipping a little bit, Aaron. So unfortunate there for Jesse, because he was doing a great job out front, and now he's dropping back through the field.
So he steps aside, and Ben Cabbage moves to the lead. Walton next, then Dontas, then McConville, then Baxter. So the Commodores look a bit closer to the game with those recent parity changes. They did a really big test at Eastern Creek with a range of drivers, a range of cars, and Glenn Seaton, who of course is completely independent, doesn't drive in the Ute Series, hasn't raced in the Ute Series before, and it looks like they've got the mixture just about right now.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Obviously, it was clear that the Falcon FG was the dominant car. Walton now up the inside for the lead, but he's going to do that, get that job done nice and cleanly as well. So he slips through into the lead, but just back on that parity issue, the series have definitely got the parity much closer this weekend, and it's good to see both manufacturers battling it out. Really
strange to see Jack Ellsgood there on the pit wall watching his car run around with young Daniel Kennedy behind the wheel. Andrew Fisher locks up the Jesus Ford. David Cedars almost gets in the back of his teammate. Ryle Harris decides he'll join in the mix here. Oh, and a bump as well.
We know Ryle's never been afraid to get in there and rub doors and panels. But Cedars now around, trying to go the long way around the outside. That's not going to work.
And Cedars, with new backing from Trade Quip this weekend, he's struggling, not just with the car, but with himself. He went and... He's a bit of an accident-prone fellow. He's gone and twisted his left knee, slipped on some water at home, and he's almost in the class with Mark Winterbottom. They're struggling to get their cars off the grid because of their lower extremities struggling. Well,
that will be making his job a bit harder this weekend, that's for sure. But Harris now, he'll have position on Cedars into the second last corner. All Ryle will have to do is, still a bit of rubbing.
It's not done.
No grip out there for Cedars, as you can see, with the tail wagging through turn 7.
It's a one-line corner.
So Andrew Fisher's Ute providing us very good pictures there.
Here's Kim Jane with McNally. These two about to rumble again. They've already had a little bit of contact, but it seems like both cars look okay.
Yeah, Kimbo was quite lucky that he hit the guardrail right here where we're coming through now, quite square on. So he will be carrying some damage, no doubt about it, but obviously not bad enough for him to stop. Has a
pretty good record here. Finished 3rd overall, but it was way back, 2004, would you believe? We haven't been to Simmons Plains with the Ute since 2009, so it's great to be back down here, the long straights and the heavy stops, and remember that they're heavy cars, so nursing the brakes is a big issue. And
the tyres as well, Aaron. So, yeah, it is a great track for, I guess, getting a bit of a slipstream like we're seeing now by McNally, who should be able to slip up the inside on Kimbo. Kimbo's always generally pretty hard to pass, but fair at the same time. So McNally in the Stratco Commodore slips through, so he gets that position on Kimbo, the assassin.
And we're winding down in race 2 of the weekend. This was the move from Ryle Harris. Auto 1 replay, down the inside, a little bit of a bump on Cedars, and right rears up over the curb, you just can't hang on there.
No, you can't, and especially the curbs here at Simmons Plains. They're what we call sawtooth curbs, so once you do touch them, you lose all grip and traction, and we saw that was evident with David Cedars there.
On board with Dontas, third spot just behind Ben Cabbage in that brand new, another of the new FG Falcons. He ran that car on the streets of Adelaide, having run number 2 this weekend. Back with Andrew Fisher. He's got a run on Gary Baxter. He'll be on the inside for the sweeper, but he's on the wrong side for the next one.
So we've got 2 laps to go, Aaron, and we can see, you know, all the guys are starting to put their moves on, so they know they're running out of time. Fisher now with a bit of a compression lock up into the...
And that's what he was trying to do. He's trying to get back across and cover Harris, but he couldn't do it in time. Now let's see if he can hang on. He's in a good spot here. He's going to have to tough it out. Ryle still got his nose in there, and there's a bit of a rub too.
So Andrew's done a great job to hold on to that position there. I thought Ryle had the position on him there, but he was able to hold on. So final lap now. Chris Walton's looking pretty comfortable out in front. All he has to do is get through the hairpin nice and cleanly. Ben Cabbage has done a great job to hold on to his front row starting position, and provided he can get through the last section of the track cleanly, he should hold on for second position.
And Walton, remember, won 2 races of the 3 at the opening round at the Clipsal 500 in Adelaide. So this would be his 3rd race win. It will be 5 straight for the Falcon drivers. But these Commodore boys are not far away. Donis McConville and Nathan Pretty have kept them honest, so I don't think it's going to be a one-way street for Ford in the remaining 2 races of the weekend. Walton, though, Renko Falcon off the final turn. He, remember, actually had to fight his way through in this one. He started 8th, but he finishes 1st. Another win for the Queenslander here in Tasmania. Pretty nearly stole a spot there on the line from his mate Cam McConville. But certainly things are a little bit more even between the Fords and the Holdens. Chris Walton extends his lead in the championship. There's Jesse Dixon. He will make it to the line, but there's smoke pouring out of that thing. So clearly there's a clutch issue or a driveline issue of some sort. The car did make it. He crossed the line, position 16 in the end. But for Chris Walton, unstoppable. Not the fastest man in that race, though. It was Ryle Harris who was the fastest man. He finished 8th. David Cedars was 9th. And Reece McNally rounded out the top 10. Jared McLeod went from 16th to 12th. Adam Beachy, Commodore Cup champ, in 13th spot. Jesse Dixon did make it home from Sam Walter. Ben Dunn next. Greg Crick, the Auto 1 wildcard, 19th. And Hayley Swanson got the wheel back on, and she managed to finish in 20th. The race winner, though,